9 News at 10 starts now.
East Baton Rouge Mayor President Sid Edwards says 200 city-parish employees will be laid off next year if the Thrive EBR plan fails in next week's elections. Thanks for joining us here at 10 Friends. I'm Elizabeth Val.
I'm Greg Merriweather. He also says more than 200 positions would be eliminated. This all came out of the mayor's proposed budget for his plan for 2026. Again, this has all to do with that election that's coming up on November 15th. Our Liam Combs has been talking about this. Liam, good evening. What's kind of the breakdown on this budget?
Well, Liz and Greg, good evening. Yes, finally, in my hands is the 2026 operating budget for East Baton Rouge Parish, or of course, the mayor's proposal. It would still need to get approval from the Metro Council for next year. But the thing to remember here is this is the budget assuming that the Thrive EBR plan actually fails at the polls come November 15th.
We go to the polls on November the 15th. Baton Rouge is going to look vastly different on November the 16th, one way or another.
Mayor President Sid Edwards painted a picture of what he says East Baton Rouge Parish would look like if voters reject his Thrive EBR plan. Today, he presented the Metro Council with a kind of worst-case scenario budget. It has most city parish departments staring down the barrel of an 11% cut, most of which comes from the workforce. But that does not include the already short-staffed police department and fire department.
The only place to go is people and bodies, and we're 150 officers short and counting. And I just could not go there, will not go there.
Also untouched is the police training program, and the district attorney's office says it will not see a reduction in workforce. But it's a different story for the public defender's office, which is a big concern for Councilman Aaron Moak.
Anything that you try and get services as far as paperwork or things like that, all of those are going to be slowed down because we're not going to have the manpower.
And not to mention the impact on infrastructure projects.
A lot of the roads have a 10-year lifespan, and they're on a schedule to get overlaid or whatever. That might have to push out to 10 or 15 years, and we just have to maintain and fix what we can on it instead of actually completely redoing it.
These cuts stem from a $50 million budget hole left by the new city of St. George and the loss of certain federal dollars, which are running dry this year.
As far as us cutting, we are breaking the bone and sucking the marrow out. That's how tight this thing is.
The mayor's solution is called Thrive. His plan to move funds from the library system, Council on Aging, and mosquito abatement back to the general fund. If voters approve all three measures, the budget today would be updated. But voters we talked to today aren't fully convinced.
Ambiguously dealing with a bigger problem if Thrive fails. But that also then means that they still have to come up with a solution. My biggest concern with Thrive passing is that they will allow that to stand as a good enough solution, and then we will just be on this slow downhill where, again, our services are not getting the same funding, and our big budgetary problems continue to only sort of, crutch along without a real solution.
And the mayor admits Thrive doesn't fill all the gaps, but he says it's still a start.
I've kept telling people that Thrive don't pave the streets of Baton Rouge with gold, but it helps us keep our head above water. It helps us out.
So assuming that Thrive fails and we are left with this budget, I had to ask Councilman Moak and the mayor president, will we be having to look at higher taxes? Well, they didn't want to give me a straight answer on that one, but did say anything and everything is on the table. We're going to have more as this drama continues in the coming weeks. You can stay updated on our 9 News app. And of course, early voting is starting now. And election day for that Thrive vote is November 15th. Liz and Greg, live outside City Hall. Liam Combs, WAFB 9 News.
All right, Liam, thank you for that. So early voting.